everyone. This is going to be a video talking about 2018. So this is sort of a follow-up video to probably the last one that I posted that was a recap of 2017. So if you haven't seen that video, I really encourage you to go watch it. It's going to talk a little bit about the background to some of my resolutions this year. But just to do a super quick recap, I had a couple new health diagnoses this year, and they're really going to require me to make some lifestyle changes. So that is what this year is hopefully going to include for me, is a lot of healthful lifestyle changes that really are going to make a difference, really make an impact on how I live my life right now. So again, if you want to know more in depth about the diagnoses or what life has been like for me for this past year, go ahead and I will link it in the eye, which is, I still don't know what corner it's in. It's in one of those corners. I will link it in the eye if you were interested in watching that video. And again, I highly encourage it before watching this one. So what does this year look like for me? By the way, I'm in a different area. I thought the light might be better closer to the window, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm new at this. Everybody knows that, even though I've been doing it for a year. I'm new. So what does this year look like? This year looks like self-improvement in a word, which it is one word. It's a hyphenated word, but it's one word. Self-improvement. You cannot think to improve the lives of people around you if your life is not good itself. So I want to improve my health. I want to improve on the things that I used to love. Language, diet, exercise, painting, writing. I have basically been a vegetable this past year. Some of that has been because of school. There's only so much that you can do with that. It's hard because, you want to do the best that you can in school, and it's going to take up a lot of your time. But at the same time, if you're not living your life in the now, what's the point? And I've been guilty of that a lot in the past. If you look back at 2017's New Year's resolution video, which, again, I will link somewhere, wherever the eyeball is up there. It's not an eyeball, it's an eye, like an eye. I was just trying to survive, and my whole goal for this past year was to live in the moment, to let the past go, to embrace the present, to stop worrying so much about the future. And I would say that my results with that are a mixed bag. Mentally, I think I'm in a lot better position without even having that much of a medication change this year. I think I changed my meds once at the very beginning of 2017, and I just left them alone. A lot of the mental health progress that I've made is because of my therapist, and really looking at where the voices inside my head are coming from. And I don't mean that from a schizophrenic point of view. I mean that from a should, would, could sort of beating myself up perspective. And I've really looked at where those voices are coming from, realized they're not my own, and decided that if I'm going to push myself to do something, it needs to originate from me, from here or from here. That's it. And just push all the other noise aside, because all you can do in this world is make yourself the best person that you can be. And I know that now, and I struggle so much every day. Every day is a choice, just like an addiction and any illness. Everything you do in life multiple times a day, that's all a decision, that's all a one-time choice to continue to get better. And I think we forget that as a species. There's no quick fix. Everything, every moment is a decision. So that's what this year is about for me. Now, practically, what does this year look like? So I go back to school in 2 weeks, just under 2 weeks. Oh God, I don't want to go. But I have to. So I'm going to be there until May. I do come back home for a week in March, just after my birthday, for spring break. Runs through Easter. So I will be in Seattle for a week. And then I will come back here to Seattle in the middle of May. My sister is flying over to Buffalo to help me drive my car down to my uncle's, and then we're going to fly back from DC to Seattle. So we're going to spend about a week driving around the Northeast, sort of doing a little bit of a tour and making a mini vacation out of it. So that's the only set in stone sort of thing I have to look forward to this year, which is sad, I know. I should be looking forward to school and blah, 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 but no. I've really been starting to write my thesis lately. I think I've narrowed down to like what my final topic is going to be, to where I can really, really start writing. I know I can make good progress on my lit review, choosing a conceptual or theoretical framework. All of that is ready for me. So I just need to take the steps to do it, which is where my first real resolution comes in. Time management. Time management. So for someone with ADD, this is really, really hard, because I can get obsessive about something and I will knock it out and I will do everything I possibly can to get it done as fast as I can, which, you know, without that perfectionist like bone in me, is not necessarily a good thing. I will get it done. That doesn't mean that it gets done to the specifications or to the standards that it needs to be done, but it's done. So I need to find a way to keep myself from doing that, but also keep myself being productive, because I frankly suck at it. That's it. I mean, I'm to the point in my life where I cannot focus on a damn thing to save my life. And sometimes it really feels that way. Like I can't. I want to and I can't. And that's the best way I can describe the mental state that I'm in when it comes to focus and cognition. I want to for all the world, but I literally cannot do it. And I think some people don't quite understand that about mental illness or about physical illness. It's not that you don't have the motivation. It's not that you don't want to do it. It's that you physically literally cannot do it. And I think having structure and learning a structure, which is, I mean, that's how you manage ADD. You learn to deal with it. And I think that's how it's gone undiagnosed for me for so long. One, I have a litany of other issues. Let's be honest, ADD is not the biggest one. But it's gone undiagnosed because I've learned how to deal with it. Now, that doesn't mean I've learned how to deal with it in the best way possible. Not at all. It just means that I've made it through life thus far with the coping mechanisms that I have, but I am at the end of those coping mechanisms, which means I need to learn some new ones. So that's going to be time management, especially because this is a year of self-improvement. So I can't totally disregard everything else in my life to focus on my thesis and school and clinicals and all of that. It means I have to make time in my life for self-care and diet and exercise and going back to languages. I mean, I think that's the thing that I'm going to focus on this year for what I used to love. My dog just scared me. Is going to be languages. So I need to find a place in my life for that, plus meditation and yoga. So my New Year's resolution, I guess, you could boil it down to just self-improvement. So getting back to learning the things that I love, like language, time management, and then you have your gold standards for New Year's resolutions, getting healthy. And for me, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with weight, although if you watched my addict videos, which I'm sorry, there's only been 2, it's part of it. It is, but that's not the goal. I need to get over my sugar addiction because it's feeding my autoimmune disorders. And the other thing that's feeding my autoimmune disorders is gluten. So I think I talked about this in a Crohn's diet video a long time ago. I was gluten-free for a while, and I felt better. I never lost any weight. Gluten-free is not a magic pill. That's such a big myth. But it helped with the inflammation side of things. And for Crohn's, that's everything. For most autoimmune disorders, that's everything. So if you can get the inflammation in your body down, you're going to be a much healthier person. So gluten-free, cut down on the sugar. I'm not saying go sugar-free. That's not life. That's not enjoyable. I mean, some people can do it, but I know that I can't. I'm Anglo-Saxon. Give me some cake. If you don't understand that reference, sorry. So really an anti-inflammatory diet, and You see everything on the internet about anti-inflammatory diets. Well, I'm here to do it right. And if you want to follow me along on my journey, then please do. I want you to. I'm going to be making videos. So another New Year's resolution of mine is to make at least one video a month, most likely two. So that's going to be 24 videos this year. Let's see if that actually happens when school gets going and everything like that. But I think the motivation for staying up on this channel is going to be the fact that I'm making progress or I'm not making progress on my diets. So I'm not even talking cold turkey. I'm definitely not talking cold turkey with the sugar thing. That's going to be a gradual decline. And as my family knows, my sister and I make batches and batches and batches and dozens and dozens and dozens of Christmas cookies every year, and we just barely got rid of the last ones that we had. And by get rid of, I mean we ate them. So it's been a bit of a struggle with the sugar thing, especially while being home, and I knew it was going to be. I think I said this in the last video that I posted too, like dietary changes, like my doctor telling me I need to go gluten-free. Yeah, I knew that, but I'm a student and it's expensive. But it needs to happen, and the way that it's going to happen for me is vegetables. I'm going to replace all the breads, pastas, blah, blah, blah with vegetables because that's the cheapest way to do it. It's also the healthiest way to do it. I'm not just going to go to the store and substitute gluten-free things for glutinous things like bread and pasta. That's just not how it's going to be. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get back to Buffalo is dig my car out of the blizzard. And then I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy a personal size crock pot, slow cooker, whatever you want to call it. And that is going to be my saving grace, I think, because I can start my vegetables in the morning. I can throw in some quinoa, some other things, beans, get some complete proteins in there and, cook rice in it, whatever. And that's going to be my meals. That's going to be lunch and dinner. Well, lunches are hopefully going to be salads because I'm going to be eating out a lot. My schedule, which I don't have with me, I'm really sorry that's really loud. Give it a second and it'll be done. There we go. I never realized how loud that fridge was. That's terrible. Maybe we need a new one. Anyway, I was like, oh, my schedule. I don't have it with me, but it's really chock full. Now, last semester, I had 7 classes. I got a 4.0. Who knows how that happened, but I had 7 classes. This term, I have 5. But 3 of them are supervised practice, whereas last semester it was only 2. So I don't think it's going to be any less busy. And it's certainly not going to be less busy with all the thesis writing I should be doing. And yeah, that's going to be rough. But my goal, really, I want to defend before the end of 2018. I don't want to be working on my thesis in 2019. I really don't. I want to be looking for a job. I want to be focusing on moving back. I want to be focusing on finding a place and a job in Oregon. That's my goal. So, salads for lunch, vegetables, and some sort of protein for dinner. Now, the other thing with anti-inflammatory diets is very little red meat. So I'll probably be doing like I was doing now for 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after the blood draw. I'll be eating red meat. Probably won't be eating blood donation. I will be eating red meat. The rest of the time I will not. And I will be doing half meatless, which means basically maybe Tuesday through Friday, no meat. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I can have chicken, fish, some other kind of white meat. I already don't eat pork. As many people know, pork is a huge trigger for my Crohn's, besides the fact that I don't like it. And I love piggies. And I don't eat lamb, and I don't eat goat, I don't eat mutton. There's a lot of like red meats and stuff that I already don't eat. There's a lot of white meats that I don't eat. So I don't think that's going to be that difficult. It's going to be replacing those proteins with things that are not going to cause a flare with my Crohn's. Now, there are certain beans that I know that I can't have. Anything baked bean I can't have, but I think that's the combination of the sugar with the beans and in your intestine and the gas and the blah. Like, no. Just don't. People, you should stop eating baked beans, except on special occasions. But I'm not here to tell you how to eat. I'm just here to give you the facts and let you make a decision. So, baked beans are a no-go for me this year. The other thing that goes with diet, of course, is fitness. Now, my school offers yoga twice a week and meditation once a week. A lot of people wouldn't think of meditation as fitness, but it's mental fitness, it's breathing fitness. It really helps a lot. And for me, a lot of my diet issues are because I'm bored. Like, I'm sitting here with ADD, I can't do my homework to save my life, but I'm still bored. It's not like I don't have anything to do, it's just that I have idle hands, and you all know what they say about idle hands. So that's a huge thing. Huge, huge thing. And the last thing I want to talk about for this year is dispelling myths. And I think that, coming to terms with the truth of the world is a huge thing for me. Coming to terms with the truth of the voices in my head. Coming to terms with the truth of my health. Coming to terms with the truth of my weight. Coming to truth with the terms of my addiction. That's huge. But it's not just me personally, it's the community, it's the world. So if I can do anything to dispel myths that are just floating around there on the internet from people who are not qualified to give advice, who are handing it out like candy, I want to do that. It is my place in my profession to dispel these myths, and it's time to start. So, I don't know how many people are going to see this video. It's probably not going to be that many, but if you do see this video and you do make it all the way to the end, which, good for you. Again, I'm the rambliest person on the planet, and we all know that I made this channel to stop being the rambliest person on the planet and start talking in a way that makes sense. Please leave a comment below if you have any nutrition related questions, even if you have like exercise or fitness or just wellness in general related questions. Please put them down below, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that I give you a science, evidence-based answer. So that's it for the resolutions. I know they weren't as 1, 2, 3 as they were last year, but I just have one big one, and it's huge. Oh, actually, I do have one last one. Of course I do, because I forgot to write it down. Guys, I told you I'm not very good at this. If I was writing, I would have been much more organized than this. Anyway, I'm writing a job proposal. Like a new position proposal. So I finally know what I want to do with my life, guys. This is the most exciting thing I think I have ever felt in my life. Like I feel like I know where I belong, and I want to be there, and I want to be there yesterday. But I'm also learning patience. Not going so well. I'm writing a job proposal, a new position proposal, to be a university dietitian. Now, right now, a lot of schools don't provide this service at all. Again, if you're interested, I'll make a video about it. But I'm writing a proposal so that a university will have a dedicated dietitian who can influence food service nutrition, who can influence nutrition curriculum and wellness and fitness classes, who can set up appointments to be an actual clinical dietitian for students, staff, faculty, just to make the community a healthier, better, myth dispelling place. So that's what I want to do. I'm so freaking excited about it. I don't know if you can tell or not. Like, I know where I belong, and I know I want to live in Oregon. I know what I want to do for a job. I know I want a Great Dane. I know I want a horse. I don't know anything about relationships because I'm not a good people person, but I do know what I want in terms of those other things, and I think sometimes that is more than half the battle when it comes to being happy in your life. It's just knowing what you want and knowing how to get it. And like this job, there's no guarantees. I'm proposing something that doesn't even exist. So I may not get it. I may not even get something close to it, but I know that in this moment in time, I am working towards the thing that I want. And that is going to be the thing that carries me through this year. No matter how crappy everything else is, if I have a goal that I am working toward, I know that there is a silver lining to everything. I know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes finding that light is everything. One last thing before I go, I'm going to link to Jacksepticeye Sean's video because I watched it last night and I cried. So I'm going to link it. It's going to be in the eye. It's also going to be in the description box down below. Again, if you have any questions, please put them down there. I would love to answer them. If dietetics, nutrition, school, living in Washington, living in Buffalo, Seattle, what it's like to have red hair. I don't care. Please ask me questions. I would love to answer them. I would love to make a video about them. Let me know what you want to see from me, and I will do my best to make it happen. Bye, guys!